this is a great example of a rock garden left fully unattended to get grown in. So if you come in here, you can actually see, especially down here, this gravel. So as I've been just clearing off the top layer, the topsoil has been just slightly starting to get knocked back, and we can see the gravel. This whole section up here used to be a gravel bed rock garden. So I think we're gonna start working in chunks to reclaim it. So work around these shrubs here, these really nice Vaccinium corymbosum here. They were previously had a species name, Vaccinium fuscatum, the black highbush blueberry. They get these little shiny black blueberries.
So this area, and if you start with these a rock cluster here, but you're talking about, you're going to join this cluster with that cluster eventually. You think that this entire thing was one.
So down to here, this was all, yes, all of this was rock garden, and you can see there's a difference. A great way to see it. So this was all rock garden over here, and this was all rock garden over here, and there's a grass path that goes up the center. Even before what's obviously weed whacked area here, there's a change right from the grass, and granted it's slightly different because I keep it mowed all the time, so it's a different species profile, but from here on it was gravel bed, and you've got different plants immediately on top of that. So that's I didn't know this until I looked at old photos, but
you can sense it just by the
it's a raised lump.
Yeah.
So I don't know how far we're gonna have to dig down to get the topsoil layer off, but I think digging up and sieving is going to be basically the only way to do it.
Well,
and this was mostly herbaceous plants that were in through here, and then you get over to those shrubs over there.
I think that this garden is pretty unique in the Philadelphia area, and the fact that it has mostly wild collected plants in it makes it sort of a botanical treasure. That it's so good that Casey and you have made it a focus of your efforts for the past 2 or 3 years, to sort of find it and restore it. Because basically you're finding it, I think. Oh well, lots of work.
Yeah, and the plants chosen, I mean, they really all fit inside of a pretty definitive aesthetic. In my opinion. A lot of the plants are short. A lot of the plants are very evocative of some of the southeastern upland spots that Mary Henry found. A lot of the plants that she put in here. A lot of those Appalachian balds and areas like that. Some of the other backbone trees and shrubs in through here. You've got a small flowered silver bell in the back there, a Florida panhandle endemic tree called the tough bully. We have rhododendron austrinum in here that I've been starting to add some azaleas back in. A couple of the choices I've made are rhododendron bakeri, a couple of plants that I put back in are rhododendron cumberlandense, which is a Cumberland rhododendron from the Cumberland Bald, I think.
And where is the Cumberland Bald?
It's
not near the Cumberland Gap?
Maybe it's the Cumberland Gap. I can't really remember.
Well, there's probably a bald near the Gap.
Well, the Cumberland Gap is like just south of Pennsylvania, right?
I think so.
I think these are from like Georgia or something.
Oh, they're just too. This is a new path right here that you've uncovered.
Yeah, look at this huge rock.
It's a pretty big rock.
Isn't it wonderful?
This path was not here last year. You've blown the soil off of this.
Yeah.
Actually,
Or
this one I
sieved it.
did a full sieving. So
Yeah.
I dug this out about, you can see the soil line here. So the soil was up to here. I ended up taking out about 8 inches or so.
Yeah,
Here's
yeah.
here's another way of judging. So the soil was basically up to here. So I took out this much
8 to
and
10.
sieved it and returned the gravel. So it's all original gravel that the rock garden was outfitted with in Mary Henry's time. So it's nice to have a good mix of the
Larger and
of the granite in the larger rocks that these big rocks are made of, that keep the general like flavor of the big rocks in the gravel. And Mary Henry made good choices for gravel that really blends in with the rocks, especially in all different lights. You know, you'll get sunset lights that make it all look very similar, and everywhere you look there will be different kinds of soil. Like this is very different, and it's much finer, and there's a lot more sand content. So as things were originally getting planted in here, the beds were being re-amended with various amounts of sand and being slightly altered to support various different plants with very slightly different preferences. So as we restore it, you know, we're going to be happy just having a larger scale of gravel in the paths, but we're going to be kind of touchier about restoring the bed areas in particular, so that we can keep a lot of the really fine sand and stuff around. So we're going to rely on blowing to get the really fine particulate out of it.
Don't move it.
I would probably just dig it up.
Yeah, don't.
Bossy volunteers.
That's cool.
Look,
Joe, look at how you were walking on rocks and not on green stuff right now. Remember?
Yeah. And you know what this is?
Yes.
Oh.
Casey likes to put perlite in the rock garden. I strongly disagree.
I didn't get that. You know where that's from the compost pile.
Yeah, and Casey likes to put compost in the rock garden. I strongly disagree.
You're trying to make it leaner and she's fattening it up.
Yes.
For clematis.
Oh, okay, your baby plant.
And for dicentra.
Well, that was just because that's the dirt it was in. I just took
I strongly disagree.
and that's what makes a good collaboration.
This is really difficult. This is a stretch that this is called the rock garden here at the Henry, but really it's more of a boulder garden.
Boulder garden.
I mean, most rock gardeners deal with little teeny rocks.
So there are some benefits to having a couple of spots where topsoil builds up. I mean, especially in these cracks here. This is the northern face of the rock garden here, so it's a little bit moister because the sun doesn't hit it all day long like it does on the other side. So we've got a lot of heucheras that have worked their way around. These are Heuchera americana. This is them living in the cracks here, and they've spread all up through the cracks here on the north side. So this is the Chapman's rhododendron. This is Rhododendron chapmanii. It's a critically endangered plant in its native range, which is Florida. It's basically only grows in sand dunes and dune forests. We've been talking with the Atlanta Botanic Garden that's has a big program for looking at the current genetic profile of all the living rhododendron chapmanii that they can find and comparing it with historical genetics.
And there's that little yellow plant.
There's the little yellow plant.
Way up on the rocks. Get way up there.
This is a nice collection of plants. We can see here Agave americana that's just spent its seed capsules. I can show you some other seeds later. We've got Heuchera americana in here. This is a dwarf form of the wax myrtle. This is Myrica pumila. I just discovered that Home Depot sells this.
So you too can grow it.
You too can grow it. I was starting to. I did this from some cuttings, and I was like, "Wow, this is going to be such a unique offering." Yeah, Home Depot.
So,
It's hard for me to assign a species to any of our liatris because Mary Henry planted what she considered to be liatris hybrids to begin with,
okay.
and they have a tendency to hybridize with each other. This is our tiny Antinaria parvifolia. A more of a woodland plant. This is Rhododendron minus. This was wild collected in I think it's called Pine Mountain, Georgia, back in the 50s.